Hi, my name is Flynn Brennan, and I'm a survival expert. Have you ever been lost in the wild? Probably not. Or maybe you're lost in the wild right now, and that's why you clicked on this video. It's not likely, but it can happen. Basic life survival skills are often forgotten in today's age with our comfortable little lives, but they are still very essential, especially if you tend to be the more daring, adventuresome, or curious type. And plus, these skills can just make your life all around better. And if you still don't believe me, to list a few names, Henry Ford, Chris Pratt, Michael Jordan, are some very famous people who were Boy Scouts. And you know, they have some pretty good lives. And you know what Chris Pratt always said? Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. Without further ado, let's get on with the 5 basic survival skills you need to survive in the wilderness. Okay, so the first step you want to do in any situation is start a fire. Now, starting a fire isn't as simple as rubbing 2 sticks together. What you're going to need to do is dig up a big circle in the ground and then dig up any grass. So I don't have to worry about that because mine is sand. Next you want to do is grab any small rocks you see, any rocks will do, and line the circle with rocks. So if you're wondering why these large rocks help, it helps contain the fire, and you don't want to start a forest fire. So the next step you want to do is get any dry leaves or sticks and place them in the pit. Small little sticks like these will do the trick. Now this isn't a stick, this is a metal pipe, so I do not need this. As you can see, I didn't complete it because I'm not starting an actual fire. That might be illegal, I'm not sure. But the next step you want to do is start the fire with a lighter if you have one. And if you don't, search up a YouTube video on how to start a fire without a lighter, because frankly, I do not know.
All right, in order to fire, I need 2 pieces of wood. One's gonna be my spindle, one's gonna be my hearth fork. The other thing I need for this fire is a good tinder bundle. Essentially, it looks just like a bird's nest. First, I need to make a little pilot hole, just like that. And I'm gonna burn it, very solid looking hole. Once I've burned in my hole, I'm gonna cut a notch. I want my notch to go right before the actual center of the hole. Applying downward pressure, rapid rotation of my hands, we'll get a coal. That's how you build fire.
And the next you want to do is place logs around the fire. Conveniently, there's a whole bunch of logs right here. So I'm just going to grab the logs. Now my ring is a bit small, I could have made it a bit bigger, but I'll leave that up to you when you're in a life-threatening situation to do better than I just did. So, a fire can be used for cooking food, purifying water, warmth, light, and of course, keeping predators away. This is the #1 top survival skill. It is essential for your survival out in the wild. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is find a shelter. If nature provides one, that's better, because building a shelter is a very long process. As you can see right here, this is a horrible shelter because there's no roof on the top of my head and bears can attack me at any moment. I'm out in the wild. So let's go and find a shelter. So after searching for a while, this is the best shelter I could find. It looks like a little hole right here. I'm surrounded by trees on all sides, so a big animal like a bear couldn't really attack me. I've got a nice bedding with leaves, so I could take a little nap, and I've got shelter from rain. Now I'd say this is a pretty decent shelter. It may not be the most comfy, but it's the best thing you can find out here in the wild. So the next thing you want to do is use signals so people can find you and help you. And you can use signals by fires, any mirrors, flags, or bright colors. And if you start 3 fires in a triangle formation, that means distress. And of course, the common SOS signal. If anyone sees that, they know someone is in distress. And so those are some 3 basic survival tips to survive in the wild. But I know what you're thinking. Flynn Brennan, the survival expert, you may be forgetting 2 very important survival tips. And I know I'm about to get to those. How are you supposed to eat and drink? Now, you may know, or you may not know, that you can't always trust all water you find, especially if it's salt water. Never drink salt water, that's just a bad idea. But even spring water like this may contain lots of bacteria that is very unsafe to drink. Come with me and I'll show you. No matter how tasty this wild water may look, it's not safe. And especially the distilled water over there that's not moving, that has tons of bacteria in it. You never want to drink that. If you have to drink water without purifying it first, go find some moving water. This moving water is constantly moving, and so it may have less bacteria in it, such as that over there.
Today I'm going to show you how to boil and purify water with a log and some hot rocks. You might find yourself stuck in the woods without a pot or a pan. So after chopping up your log into the shape of a bowl, add some hot coals, or you can do this from the start if you don't have a hatchet. This is how you burn a bowl into wood if you don't have cutting tools. And I need this bowl a little deeper so that I can add more water into it. So once that's done, clean out the hot coals. Don't worry, the woods are very wet. I'm not going to start a forest fire. Next, go to your questionable water source and collect some water and pour it into your bowl. During this process, I've had some rocks heating up in the fire, so you want to take those out and put them into your bowl without splashing the water everywhere like I did. That's going to heat the water up pretty good, but not hot enough, so you're going to have to take it out and then add another hot rock. So then after it boils, you just let it cool down and then enjoy. The water is going to have some ash and charcoal in it, but that...
When traveling, you always got to make sure to carry first aid, survival, and just a kit with a lighter, a water purifier, and some first aid bandages if you get hurt, because those will save your life. But if you don't have those and you're completely empty-handed like me right now, then you're going to have to go through a couple other steps, but don't worry, rest assured after watching this video, your life will be completely saved, hopefully. Eating is very essential for our survival, of course. If you don't eat for 3 weeks, you're gonna die. So there's lots of poisonous berries out there in the wild, so never eat anything you don't recognize. such as these. These aren't even berries, these are flowers, but I'm not gonna eat them because I don't know what they're called. And if I see any little berries out in the wild, there's some imposters out there. Some berries may look like other berries such as blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, what they're not, and they're poisonous. So you gotta be very careful when eating berries. Another good idea would be trying to catch fish. If you're near a river, you could get a little stick maybe, or do some hand-on-hand action. Just grab the fish. Could be pretty difficult, but you know, life is on the line, so you gotta learn that skill. Or, you know, of course, killing small animals such as birds, rabbits, and so forth. And that is another reason why the fire is very essential, so you can cook food, because never eat raw meat. You can get very sick from eating raw meat. Some fruits may contain lots of water in them, such as bananas and coconuts and watermelons, of course. They have water in the name. So that could keep you hydrated. If it's raining, collect rainwater. Try to collect rainwater. Rainwater is safe to drink. It doesn't contain most of the bacterias. It's probably the safest option you have out there in the wild. And that is probably, as Chris Pratt would say, Mamma Mia. So what you're gonna wanna do if you're stuck in the wild is don't panic, make sure to stay calm. Make sure to observe your surroundings, create a plan from what you see, and know how to execute that plan. If you don't know what you're doing, you're most likely gonna die. So those are the 5 basic survival skills you need to survive in the wild. And as Chris Pratt always said, the only thing you need to fear is fear itself. And with that, let's imagine a scenario. A scenario of someone who just got stranded from their camping group and is lost in the wild. And with that, those are the 5 basic survival skills you need to know so you can survive in the wild. I hope this video helped so you can be better prepared if you're ever stuck in the wild and lost. That's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.